Hi everyone, this is Jim Carroll and Eric Rattay with another Day in the Life series. We're excited about today's presentation because we're going to focus on new features that Acumatica over the past couple of years have introduced into its distribution module. Acumatica has won numerous awards because of its functional breadth coupled with user friendliness, which equates into the coveted fourth quadrant of many of the industry analysts like the Gartner Group and Nucleus's four quadrant. And Acumatica focuses in distribution and manufacturing markets, which means it focuses on inventory management and inventory control. And we've identified 15 new features that we're going to review quickly today. And Eric, please take it from here.
Yes, thanks, Jim. The first feature are the dashboards that have been added. So most of the time when a user logs in, typically he will have his own dashboard depending on the role that he has within the company, or multiple roles. As the administrator currently logged into the system, I've got access to multiple dashboards, and some of them are related to inventory. So we have a sales manager, purchasing manager, warehouse manager, receiving clerk, and shipping clerk. Now, while for the managers, you've got some graphs and also some tiles for which the colors can go from green to yellow to red to vice versa, and becomes another system like everywhere else in the system. With the dashboards that were previously there, for the people on the floor, what they have is other dashboards where they have a list of things to do. So this is one a sales manager related to the inventory. So we have open quotes, order pending approval, because there is an approval matrix within Acumatica, as you may already know, and inventory are waiting for payments, orders waiting for purchases, and so on and so forth.
I got it. Because late orders is red, that means there's a problem where orders are pending approval. There are none at this point, so that's 0 on this dashboard. And Eric, can these dashboards all be modified if you want to? You can add new tiles and that type of thing?
Yes, you can. And so all these dashboards that come with the system can be modified or copied, so that you can create new dashboards, and you can even copy and paste some of these widgets that appear.
Got it. So larger companies might have a number of different purchasing personnel, and they could all kind of focus in on their own areas of requirements, etc. Sounds great.
Yeah, and can filter by branch, of course, because Acumatica is multi-company, multi-branches, multi-warehouse, and so on and so forth. So we can filter. This is an example where we are filtering by branch, but you can filter by warehouse. You can add additional filters as well. So
nice.
From one to another, then all the dashboards are refreshed.
I get it. So if you're in a big company and they have different focus and whatnot, purchasing might mean one thing to one branch and another to another, and you'd have these dashboards adjusted appropriately. Great.
Yep. So that being said, let's move to the next feature, which is within the sales orders work area.
All right.
So first thing first, on the sales order, you see here there are multiple new side panels, as we call them. So we can look at the printed form of each sales order. So each line, if I would open one of these, that would open a side panel. And then I would see, for example, the status of that sales order, like a mini dashboard that appears regarding the line that my cursor is on currently. So that prevents you from going into the sales order, look for something, or it's not the one that I was looking for, coming back and forth like this, because I simply click and I have a glimpse of this information.
Yeah.
I've got other kind of things such as the customer maintenance and so on. I can even modify things. If I would have, for example, the customer maintenance, let's go there. So the customer profile will appear, and once it's there,
So I could see how this would dramatically reduce keystrokes as well as errors, getting back to that user-friendliness part of the four-quadrant thing. Yeah.
Exactly. So I can type, I can even save my changes up to that profile, and I can move to the other one, and so the system will refresh the information. The first time that the system loads the side panel, it takes a couple of seconds, but once it's loaded in the cache, then it goes pretty fast. Even the attachment would be there, and so on and so forth.
Ah, cool.
I can put that in more in a full view if I would want to, or reduce the size of the side panel. So the next thing that we're going to see is this order type, which is called BL. So in Acumatica, as you may already know, you can create your own order types. So order types correlates to behavior. So as an example, we've got a credit memo that will issue a credit, cash sale, and so on. So we have different type of orders.
Right.
And one U that it was not there previously is the blanket order. So with the blanket order, you're allowed to have, for example, in that case, a commitment from the customer, and you have an expiration date. And so here, at the line level, you can have different ship tos. So it's not, you can have multiple ship to for one blanket order.
Right.
And then once the customer tells you that it's time to ship, you can create a child order. And so in that case, because I've got two different ship to, the system will create my two child orders. And so if I open this up, this is a regular sales order, which is not a blanket order, it's a sales order.
Right.
And you can see now that I've got other things such as a shipment link and things like that, which was not available at the blanket order. So the blanket order really is about a commitment at a certain price for a certain period of time from a customer, and you have multiple shipments that goes with it.
And then obviously the shipments correlate to freight costs and tax values and all of that good thing, because freight to LA will be different than freight to, New York, as an example, that type of stuff. Got it. Yeah, nice.
And then on the customer order can be validated, so to prevent you from entering customer order twice. So this is the purchase order from the customer that we enter here. So if it has already been entered, then the system will warn you so that you don't enter, you don't work more than necessary. And you also have side panels at the right part of the screen. So if I want to see while I'm entering an order for a customer, I can see right away the customer details, so how much he owns us and things like that, so that it speeds up also the collection procedure.
Great.
As you can see here also, you have the related item icon, which means that in that case there are some cross-sell items that exist for this item. So I can click here to maximize my sales. I can offer to the customer in that example something that goes with this item that we picked.
Perfect.
So we have type of relations is cross-sale, up-sale, substitute. If I don't have enough stock of one product, then we can use a substitute. And so we can have different kind of relationship between. And you can have reports that will tell you that this salesperson, for example, is doing great in cross-sale, but this other salespeople is not. So that explains why he gets more commission or more sales.
Very nice feature. Very nice feature.
Something that is used. In the matrix item, there are some additional changes. So matrix items typically is in the garment industry. So you have, for example, T-shirts or what we call sometimes tiles, which are template IDs. And then we have sizes and colors. So you can order like this, 3 medium, 3 large.
And this would be the same style of T-shirt. It might be like a men's crew cut, as an example, small, medium, and large, 3 of each. Got it. All right.
Correct. So then when you add these, the system will add the 3 lines. But if we look within the stock item itself, in the template, so this is linked to a template.
Right.
So it's like a style. And in that style, that you use this to create all the SKUs that goes with under that style. So you
right.
Configure which colors make sense and that are available that you offer for this template item. And so there are multiple improvements within that template item that have been added, such as fields excluded from update, because instead of updating, for example, all different combinations for that style, you can update the style or the template item itself, and then update all the SKUs that goes with. So instead of going one by one, you can do that in batch.
Nice.
But sometimes you don't want all the changes related to the template item to be propagated to the SKUs. So this is why you have some fields that you don't want to update in the SKUs themselves.
Right. So you might have like T-shirts for men and T-shirts for women and different colors for both sites, and this would allow you to go back and forth between those two different upper-level matrix configurations and make changes as you go forward or add new product lines, that type of thing. Very nice. Very nice.
In addition to that, there is a new integration that is now within the code.
Mm-hmm.
Within the new version is the integration with EasyPose. So EasyPose is like a hub that connects your different carriers with Acumatica. So the carriers are connected with EasyPose, and EasyPose is connected to Acumatica. So that way, Acumatica can have the different shipping rates, the cost, and uplift
right.
that.
So my understanding is EasyPost supports literally dozens and dozens of different carriers. So
Correct.
Someone back in Atlanta versus Dallas versus Denver might use different regional shippers, and this provides an easy way to make sure that you don't have to write special interfaces to all those different carriers. Very nice.
So the system connects to EasyPose, that connects to FedEx in that case, as an example.
Right.
To retrieve the FedEx rate and as well as UPS rate, and so on and so forth. And so the system will tell you how much days are in transit and things like that. And now in the new version, the system was able previously to tell you that it goes into a medium box because of the size and the volume. Not the size, but rather the volume and the weight of the items. But now you can also modify the length and width of the boxes on the fly. So let's say that the typical
nice.
medium-sized box has these length, width, and heights. But this one, you select a little different one, and so you can adjust this. So it will calculate the proper cost.
Got it. So that's like a 1 by 2 by 2 is 1 times 2 by 2 is 4 square inches, whereas something that is 2 by 2 may not fit in the same box as something that's long. They'll have the same volume, but the width will be different, so you have to make an adjustment for the box. And then if you do that, then the cost will calculate correctly on the freight. Got it.
Mm-hmm. One thing that I missed at first is the contact. So now you can select a contact, not just a customer location, but also a contact.
Oh, nice.
This is very handy because it can appear on the documents, and also people can know who to reach, who is the person to reach for that sales order.
Got it.
coming back to my blanket order, so when the child sales order will be shipped, then of course that will you will see the different numbers here that will increase. So the unshipped quantity will be reduced, and so on and so forth. So you can really compare what was the commitment from the customer and what is the result right now, the current state. So that you can even have a dashboard where you see all the blanket orders that are almost expired. So you can reach to the customer and say, what do we do with the remaining of the stock? Do we ship it to you?
Right.
Things like that. So then another improvement is also on the invoices. So in previous versions, you were not able to create an invoice directly without going through the sales order and the shipment. You can skip the shipment, but you were not able to skip the sales order. Now in the newer version of Acumatica, a couple of years ago, Acumatica is now allowing to create an invoice right away, and so you can do that. That will include stock items, and you can have different type of transactions, such as a cash return and cash sale. And when you select a cash return as an example, the good thing about the system is that you can select a return line. So the system, by selecting a return line, will ensure that the customer don't return an item twice.
Right.
The system will warn you and will make the correspondence between the mapping between the invoice that has been credited and the credit itself.
Very nice. So for distributors that have all those different relationships with customer service and returns and whatnot, this is a very nice feature. Got it.
I'm using my favorites.
Yeah.
And so you can flag a screen as a favorite. And one new screen is a dead stock. So if we have some stock that didn't move, then we want to know about it. So maybe we'll do a promotion or something like that for the stock. We also have into the inventory preference a calculation for turnover. So the turnover will be calculated according to the rules that you set here, and then after that you have a screen that will show you the turnover.
So for inventory managers, these two tools, the dead stock and also the calculation of turnover, is really going to give you good views on terms of what your profitability in terms of volume is on your products, right? Because dead stocks will be slow-moving stuff where you've got the inventory in-house, but you're not turning it. Whereas here you can determine what your turnover is on item 1 versus item 2, et cetera, over a given period. Nice.
Yeah, and you can calculate the turnover directly from here, or you can let the system calculate it from a processing screen. So in each processing screen, you are able to put that process into a schedule, so you benefit from the 7x24 employee.
Right.
As you like to call it, Jim.
So we like to talk about Acumatica's behind-the-scene workflow, which is the equivalent of a no-cost 7x24 employee. And in this case, we're having the system automatically generate a turnover report, say, every Monday morning, so that when your purchasing manager or the boss or the someone responsible says, hey, how are we doing on turnover, they'll get the report, and it's generated by the system without having the user, another user-friendly feature. Very nice. Then
there are some other reports. So Acumatica comes with over 600 reports, generating queries, so lists, like we saw here, and also reports and dashboards and There were over 600 of them, but still, it's not enough. So Acumatica added some new reports, such as a purchase accrual summary in detail. So that will allow you to have the detail about or a summary about what stock you received but have not been charged for by the vendor.
Got it.
So this is very handy. And then we also have with the mobile device, in addition to the inventory module, we have this ability about the scanning functionality. So in previous version of Acumatica, we were able to scan with these tools here, scan and issue, scan and receive. So we were able to track the stock movement by scanning it. But in the newer version of Acumatica, we are able to do wave and batch picking, and to automate the pick, pack, ship process. And then in addition to that, so
that will instruct the people on the floor what the optimum route is, in other words, to go pick numerous items and either pick for a single order or pick for multiple orders, depending on what's best for their operations, thereby increasing the productivity of the pickers, is what I understand. Is that correct?
Correct. So a supervisor can create a wave pick list or a batch pick list, and then use the totes and the carts associated with the warehouses. And finally, we can even now go paperless because we have this queue that we're looking at in real time. So I can start watching. So I will see everything that has been that is listed here, and depending on where the picker is into the warehouse, at which location he is, then the system will tell him on the mobile device what to get for which sales order to get it. And so the system will minimize the walking within the warehouse and maximize the efficiency.
Right. That's traditionally been a feature in warehouse management software packages that cost tens and tens of thousands of dollars, and now is a module or part of the feature suite of the Acumatica module, which is a very cost-effective way to have this type of functionality right out of the box for distributors and manufacturers.
And lastly, but
yeah,
lastly, the last thing is generate intercompany sales orders. So because Acumatica can support multiple companies at the same time, as we said earlier, then if one company issue a purchase order for a sister company, then the sales order in that sister company can be generated automatically. So it minimizes the number of errors, and it also speed up the data entry because the person won't have to, in one place, to create a purchase order, and the other person would enter the sales order. It will be created automatically for them.
So these are the automatic do-to, do-froms that are part and parcel of an intercompany situation. Very good. So
well, it's not really a do-to, do-from. That was these do-to, do-from were limited to the general ledger.
I see.
Now it's more like a sales order that involves stock items.
Got it. I got it. So it's actually the inventory transactions themselves are further automated. Thank you.
Correct.
Got it. Yep. Got it. Well, that's quite a list. And so this is a number of the features that have come out in the last couple of years, meaning 20 and 21. Acumatica invests 65% of its earnings into R&D, and that's reflective in the types of features we've just shown you, which is just literally one segment of the product line associated with inventory and distribution. And anything else to add before we close up, Eric?
Have a wonderful Acumatica day.
Thank you so much, and thank you once again for joining another session of A Day in the Life. There'll be more to come. Thank you, Eric.